Excellent. Thank you. And Tom, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's been an interesting time for sure. As I look back over the last month, we started our communications with our franchisees. It was 5 weeks ago, coming up on Monday, starting with an alert that we saw this virus getting ready to start spreading in the United States. And with that alert, what we were really advocating at that time was a heightened sense of, for our business, maximizing revenue opportunities for our franchisees so that they had an opportunity to essentially bring cash in the door, to be able to take it and use it during this next phase that came up. And like Mark and Fast Signs, we were at that time initially having a once a month system-wide what I would call update call, and then that update call would be the jumping off point for the rest of our communications with our franchisees. As the spread of the virus and the raise of the crisis essentially started happening very quickly, we moved that to a weekly phone call as part of our overall communication strategy. And then that Monday afternoon call that we do each week would then be a jumping off point for communications, where our franchisees would have an opportunity to come into what we were calling franchisee huddles, where typically 5 to 10 franchisees coming in at various times daily could come into a Zoom call with members of the corporate team and take a half an hour to 45 minutes to quickly process the newest information, because we all know over the past 30 days, it's been a daily change, right? So we've had those scheduled as our methodology of communication, then coming back to the Monday calls to be the rapid dissemination of the large scale information. But where we started 3 weeks ago with our franchisees was we emerged with our strategy for this crisis that was a 3-pronged strategy. First prong was with our businesses, flooring services that are all shop at home services. It means our franchisees and their staff are going into people's homes. So both for our consumer at the end and for our franchisees, what started out as what we thought a relatively safe environment, because it's kind of one-on-one, as things emerged and we learned more about the virus, certainly everybody realized, okay, well, you have a stranger coming into your home, or for us, we're going into a stranger's home. And from this really emerged our strategy, which was over the last 3 weeks, we were leading our franchisees through what we call a winding down phase, which was get the business ready for a prolonged shutdown, or for all intents and purposes, we won't be operating. Now, we will be operating, but we won't be generating a lot of revenues. And through that, we led through our operations team and our various support centers. Each and every franchisee went through a financial analysis, a close down process that essentially was a shoulder to shoulder break-even analysis of where they were going to have to be after they essentially shut everything off that they possibly could. And the reason that we wanted to lead through this process that essentially will be finished on Monday or Tuesday of next week is because we're anticipating that we'll be through roughly an 8-week shutdown phase for all intents and purposes. As we're looking at this and we model across other countries, we can't see how on any scale that our franchisees will be back in business before June 1st. So we wanted everybody shut down essentially by this upcoming week, and that's a figurative term, by the way. And then during this 8-week process, this is our second phase, or second prong, that we're calling our sheltering time. During this sheltering time, we've got a couple of things that we're leading and working on with our franchisees. First of all, ensuring on a weekly basis through these daily huddles and then one-on-one meetings that financially they are not bleeding any areas that are not absolutely essential, because we know they're going to need every single dollar to make it through this sheltering time. And then for the third prong, which I'll speak to in a moment, secondly, we're using this as an opportunity to complete a massive migration of a software platform that initially was going to take all of 2020 to move it through all of our franchisees. We want to get it completed by June 1st, so that once we get to June 1st, if our modeling is correct, and who knows if it really is, but we're banking on it, that we don't have to, over the remaining 7 months of the year, take a franchisee out of the field where they have an opportunity to gain revenues for something that is non-revenue producing, like a software migration. So that's another piece that we're leading through. The third piece that we're leading through is, of course, what I know most good franchisors is, which is training, retooling, and then also taking all of our marketing and advertising programs and getting them ready for a rapid relaunch. So then our third prong, which we are anticipating again is around June 1st, is what we are calling our rapid relaunch phase of all of our businesses. When the light goes green and we can get back in operations, we don't want a slow start. We want our franchisees like they're in the starter's box of a sprint, and then the starter gun goes off, and we want them to be able to come out fast. What that means is our marketing has to be ready to be turned on quickly, and we have a lot of that basically in the box right now to generate our customers inviting us back into the home. We need to have our install crews ready to go quickly. So again, this is a lot of the sheltering phase. And the third piece is basically is our franchisees by that point have to have shed all of their overhead so that they can go as fast as humanly possible. And looking at it's a 7-month year now. It's not a 12-month year. The 2 months that we had that were really prosperous, we're just banking those and saying it's going to be gone. We now have a 7-month year. So we have to have every franchisee shoulder to shoulder with us and us with them ready for this relaunch so that hopefully at the end of this, we don't lose a single business because they weren't prepared for the rigors of a close down and they weren't prepared for what it was going to be like to then have to relaunch quickly. So that's what we're leading through with our franchisees. And of course, we have communications to our customers and things of that nature, but we're working really hard to make sure that we're ready to come out of that starter box fast and hot.